This is a very simple construction silencer. It's a sound biter, made out of plastic, perhaps Delrin I think. End cap made out of the same material. Inside are 3 springs and 2 washers to act as baffles. The instructions on the box states long spring first, then a washer, then the medium spring, then the washer, shortest spring, then the end cap screwed down. I should imagine, looking at the construction, the long spring is to keep one length for the washer, the medium spring just a little bit shorter, then the washer, and with this short spring, although it looks like there's going to be less space, the end cap is hollow, so coupled with the short spring, the extra length in the end cap, it makes up the length. The box states that it can be left without cleaning, certainly big enough inside, simple construction, nothing really to clog up, so if it does get full of muck, I can't see there being much of a problem. What I will do though is, before I assemble it and use it, I'll give it a quick squirt with some, this is called anti-spatter spray. I'll give it a quick squirt with that, help keep the gunk easy to scrape up if I did choose to clean it. And the thread on the end cap, just a little bit of copper grease on it, just enough to make it easier to strip if I decide to. I certainly wouldn't use this on a HMR though. These was made and designed before HMRs come out, I believe, and although I've used them on air rifles and 22 rimfires before, I certainly wouldn't like to try it on an HMR. I've heard of a few that, let's say, didn't last on an HMR, so I think I'll leave it as an untried situation. I'm quite happy, reasonably happy with it on the 22, so we'll just give it a try, shall we, and see what happens. Well, that's the same biter, nicely cleaned up, greased end cap, all ready to go. What I'm going to do is do one shot with the CB long, do that at close range. This being a very low powered round, it should be nice and quiet, just gives me an idea of how quiet it is, because this should be virtually silent. Well, I hope so anyway. Then I shall try a couple of rounds at 60 yards with Ely subsonic hollow points. That's my usual hunting round for rabbits, and 60 yards is my zero range, so I just want to try it out, see what the noise is like at about 60 yards, to find out what the rabbit hears, or doesn't hear, as the case may be. I'll also do a couple of shots following the same, one CB long, close range, 2 Elys at 60 yards. This is a silencer I've been experimenting with the internals, making different internals for. I'll just include that just to give some sort of comparison. Now I'm just off and give it a try. Let's see what they all sound like. I was comparing this same biter to this silencer here that I'd modified some internals with. Unfortunately, the noise from this was a rather surprising, very loud ping. So I'm going to redesign the internals and see if I can turn failure into success. The sound biter itself, They're used on air rifles and 22 rimfires. I certainly wouldn't use it on a HMR. I thought the noise reduction was quite poor. Comparing it to value for money silencers such as the SAC and the Parker Hale, I wouldn't consider this one. It is very lightweight, being plastic. It is nice and small, compact, easy to strip, easy to clean. In generally, think in terms a good silencer, but the actual performance, no, not quite right. With the CB long, low powered round, it was definitely quite noisy compared to a Parker Hale or a SAC. And with the subsonics that I normally hunt with, at 60 yards this was very noisy, I thought. So I definitely won't be using these again, and I should be selling off my stock of these. It's just not one for me.